Hello everyone, welcome to the second episode of FinTech Mavericks, a masterclass on emerging FinTech trends with Anish Achutan. I am Gunjan and I have here with me is Anish. We are here back on your screens to discuss on another interesting trends that's happening in the FinTech industry now called the low-code, no-code movement. But before we begin, Anish, I want to ask you this question that you are the co-founder and CEO of Open, right? Asia's fastest growing neobanking platform. But if I'm not wrong, you're not a hardcore techie yourself, or are you?
So even though I'm not a techie for the last 10-15 years, I've been working on products as an entrepreneur or with other companies. So probably I am blessed to understand tech much better, but that's not the case with a lot of the other entrepreneurs or the newer startups which is actually getting into fintech.
True, precisely. I was about to say that, that didn't stop you from actually building the finest, neobanking platform throughout in the world and, building a neobanking platform that caters to SME startups to manage their business finance end to end, right? Which brings, back to the previous episode where we touched base upon low code, no code and how it's going to be playing a vital role in implementing the embedded fintech, right? But we want to hear from you, what exactly is this low code, no code movement?
Right. So the low-code, no-code movement is about service providers offering fintech services without the which doesn't require you to manually code or develop the applications. More like in a drag and drop. Like yesterday we discussed about the use case of a Wix.com for building a website or Shopify for building an e-commerce website. The no-code, low-code solves multiple problems. The first thing is like it's not always about the technology part, because in fintech there comes a lot of compliance, a lot of regulations. So even if you have like a developer, then going to an ISO certification, going to a PCI DSS certification to launch the product. So a no-code fintech actually solves this by you don't have to really worry about going through this. This thing you can actually plug and play or like build integrate those modules without going through the compliance part. The second case is for the citizen developers, as we discussed, the those who really wanted to embed financial services without really having the know-how to code this. They can go to a drag and drop or templatized interface to do that. Companies like Hydrogen in the US are actually leading this no-code fintech movement.
Great, great. So what I understand is one of the key advantages of low-code, no-code platforms is to build and deploy applications to automate the business process from the banking technology or processes. But these platforms, though very user-friendly, I would say it would have its own learning curve, right? To deploy it at the right time and at the right place. So what do you think? What could be the possible possible implications when it comes to the reliability factor? When it comes to do you see the demand or the reliability increasing towards the product managers or program managers, I would say, than the IT developers, because you would need more analytical, not just tools, but people to sort of implement, as I said, at the right, right place. So what's your take on that?
So as I said, this no code is not really taking away the job of a developer or an engineer. It's just that for an example, or a food tech startup which really wanted to build credit card, it doesn't really make sense for them to actually build a team to build those credit card services where they can actually consume this through a module from a fintech provider. Similarly, like this will also give rise to a lot of opportunities in the fintech ecosystem where you will see like a lot more of these platforms. So that will only I don't think like the role of developers, or it's not about like the like when we used to always say that when artificial intelligence came that the jobs of people would get lost, but this is not what is going to happen. The product managers and developers will continue to play like a critical role in all of this.
Great. Great to know that, Anish, that the jobs of developers are secured. Right. But yes, when it comes to the implementation or, when it comes to the factors that one should evaluate or consider while picking up the low-code, no-code platforms, what should one look for while evaluating these low-code, no-code platforms?
Right. So even the low-code, no-code platform, it's still in a very nascent stage. So you don't really have like, too many platforms to choose at this point of time, and it will take like few years to evolve. So at this point of time, everybody is just like, all the players are just building few services, and what we are seeing is like probably like the version one of the so-called low code, no code things. So right now, there is not too much players to choose. It's an evolution stage. It may take 2 to 3 years for us to really even like look at like how do we compare multiple platforms when you have to choose something for a low code, no code.
Got it. So Anish, you mentioned about hydrogen in US implementing the low code no code technology for the businesses out there. What about the Indian market? You in a previous episode you mentioned about Wix and Shopify, but I think that has sort of already gained the traction. People or the citizen developers are now aware about how to implement or build their own websites and enable payment plugins to automate their payment processes. But when it comes to more evolved or more detailed low code no code platforms, if you could give certain examples from the Indian market, it will be great to understand.
Right. So in India, there are a few players, including Open, which is actually working on the low code, no code fintech. Firstly, what we have done is like we have helped around 7-8 banks launch their own digital banking platforms without having the needs to code them, and they were able to go live between 7 days to 30 days. But like Open, there are like few more players which is actually working on the API banking front end, which would help non-fintechs to actually embed the services through the no code way.
Anish, in our previous episode, we discussed about non-fintech firms implementing fintech technologies or embedding fintech in their processes sort of to increase or add additional revenue stream. We discussed about a food tech startup, Zomato launching their Zomato Edition card to sort of drive engagement amongst their customer segment, increase the loyalty and additional revenue stream as well. When it comes to low code, no code, platforms, what additional revenue opportunities or what opportunities, not just the revenue, does the company should look for when implementing these platforms?
Right. So let's take the example of like a food tech startup, like it wanted to just embed financial services. So on the revenue front, if it's a credit card, you can make revenue on interchange. So every time the customer swipes his or her card, we earn like X percentage of that. Or there could be, if you as a payroll company which is enabling payouts, salary payouts directly, you can charge the customer a per transaction fee on every transfers. So primarily there are revenue streams attached with the banking and payment services, where either you can charge directly from the customers or maybe work backwards with your banking partners. But apart from that, you can also charge a premium for certain services. I take the example again for a payroll. If a payroll is actually offering an expense management cards, they can charge them like a monthly or a yearly subscription fee, or they can create their own business models around this.
Great. So the customer is at the core of everything.
Right.
Companies are trying to embed or adapt these technologies to entice and lure the customers completely. Right. Anish, it also sorts of there's a very intriguing question I would have. One is that you mentioned that banks are also now at the forefront of innovation. Certain banks offering their APIs, exposing their APIs. And when it comes to these low code, no code platforms as well. Now, fintech startups, or not just fintech startups, any businesses trying to adapt or implement these low code, no code technologies could be confused. Or what do you think that which route would they choose? Whether would be going to these low code, no code platforms or to the banks directly for implementing the emerging trends in the industry?
So in the previous episode, we talked about embedded finance. Today, we are talking about the low code, no code, and we're actually trying to simplify these jargons as well. But the core of existence of the embedded finance, or even today when we're discussing about low code, no code, it's not about technology alone. If today in the market, if anybody wants to launch any fintech services, it takes an average of around 4 months to 12 months. When you have to deal with the bank, then you have to deal with a lot of compliances, a lot of regulations, a lot of certifications, and many times like you may not be able to get all of the services from a single bank. You have to deal with multiple financial institutions. So a lot of your bandwidth goes into that. You have to set up a separate team to build that. So this is what companies doesn't want to focus on, because this is not their core. It just adds value to them. So you will actually see more of the companies relying on fintechs or low code, no code platforms or API banking providers or BaaS providers for launching the services rather than building this in-house.
So with low-code, no-code platforms, citizen developers and even engineers with varying degrees along with the startups would be able to build platforms and ease their go-to-market strategies and build additional revenue streams. With that said, application development will become quite easy, and also as the market emerges, startups would have the opportunities to be the category leaders. So with that, we wrap up our masterclass of low-code, no-code platforms and technologies, and we'll be very soon back with another emerging trend in the fintech industry. So stay tuned.